Welcome, I'm Nina Gryphon, and this is the Astrology and Magic channel. Today we'll talk about the astrology of week 4 of July 2025. First off, I'd like to say thanks to all of my patrons. I appreciate all of your support. If you would like to become a patron and would like to get my monthly Magical Elections ebook, which teaches you how and when to make astrological talismans, go to patreon.com/Nina Gryphon. You will also get access to these forecasts early before the general public. Week 4 of July 2025 covers July 20th through the 26th. July 20th, Mars at 19 Virgo conjoins the South Node. The Western and Eastern interpretations of this combination diverge, though I tend to privilege the Eastern or Vedic view, since the North and South nodes have a high degree of importance in Vedic astrology, and their effects have been very closely observed for ages. It is said that South Node, or Ketu, is like Super Mars. It is very hot, and it is associated with the tail of the serpent. It is headless. Therefore, with Mars, the South Node can create intense and senseless aggression and violence. On the individual natal level, if there are other afflictions, it can indicate mental instability that manifests in ongoing and uncontrollable aggression. So as this conjunction applies and perfects, we can expect more of this to manifest out in the world. If it conjoins or opposes an important point in our chart, it may impact us more directly. From the Western perspective, the South Node minimizes, though there are those who say it is simply negative. So even within the Western tradition, there is an internal divergence of interpretations. Either the South Node lessens the power of the planet that it conjoins, which means that it lessens the harm of malefics like Mars, or the South Node itself is malefic and enhances Mars's evil tendencies. I personally find the Vedic interpretation of the node the most nuanced and, based on experience, the most accurate. Wars and conflicts can start quite easily in the week before and after this conjunction. For your reference, the last Mars-South Node conjunction occurred October 4th, 2023. July 22nd, the Sun enters Leo. We now enter the height of summer, when the Sun enters a fixed sign, the strongest part of the season. This varies locally, of course, but the fixed sign is the idealized form of each season, starting with a cardinal sign, culminating in the fixed sign, and decaying in the mutable sign. This commences the hottest part of summer, which may continue for a while, depending on one's location. July 22nd, the Sun at 0 Leo sextiles Uranus in Gemini. By itself, this is not a very strong aspect, but it triggers the ongoing relationship between Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto, which has begun to fall into place with Uranus entering Gemini earlier this month. As I mentioned in the video for week 2 of July, we will see agreements and alliances come together during this entire period of these outer planets aligning. This is going to take place over the next few years, of course. The Sun will trine Saturn and Neptune in Aries, while opposing Pluto in Aquarius on July 24th. And we might start seeing some movements toward these larger, longer-term agreements. July 23rd, Venus at 21 Gemini squares Mars in Virgo. This aspect energizes relationships and desire in general, sometimes to the point of conflict or at least inner or interpersonal tension. The square has been building for most of July, and as Venus and Mars move at approximately the same speed, they stay in orb of an aspect for a long time. The only thing that will change is that Venus's entry into Cancer will break the square. Both planets are now in mutable signs, adding instability to the tense dynamic of the square aspect. Remember that one of the meanings of the double or mutable signs is that they occur at the end of the season, so they can represent the ending or rolling up of a matter as we prepare for a new start. This is especially true as this is a waning square, as the two planets come to an eventual conjunction, which will happen in January 2026. The interesting point is that Venus and Mars will come to a square again in July 2026 in the same degrees but reversed, with Venus at 21 Virgo and Mars at 21 Gemini. The square perfecting today is ruled by Mercury, just like the one in July of next year. Whatever Mercury touches carries a reminder of special significance for our understanding of reality, particularly as it reminds us that any omen or special event that happens in the external world has an exact correspondence within. This square is important in that respect. It may or may not carry a major event along with it, as it affects us, but it has a meaning and a message for us regarding the matters of Venus and Mars, that is, relationships. On July 24th, we will have a new moon at 2 degrees of Leo. This new moon is ruled by the Sun, which is itself in Leo, emphasizing themes of rulership and leadership. This new moon also conjoins Mercury retrograde, which leads us to rethink and refashion the meaning of leadership. This theme is not only about individual leaders, but also organizations, including large companies and international organizations. The new moon directly opposes Pluto, suggesting the involvement of powerful interests, while the Saturn-Neptune conjunction trines the new moon, and Uranus makes a sextile to the new moon. All of this indicates that the changes promised by Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto will likely impact nations, organizations, and powerful people, and this new moon will waste no time in starting the progress of these changes. Since the new moon is at 2 degrees Leo, it plugs directly into the configuration that is now forming among all of these major planets. July 24th, Mercury will have his evening set at 14 Leo until August 8th. Mercury goes under the beams now and becomes invisible under the sun's beams. Secret discussions occur at the highest levels, whether in the public or private spheres. This is not to fuel conspiracy theories, just know that at the moment, plans are being made that may not be made public until Mercury emerges from the sun's beams August 8th or even later, when he stations direct on August 11th. The fact that this is occurring in Leo indicates that the discussions have to do with leadership and involve people in charge. This may be occurring at major companies as well as governments and other influential organizations. This happens routinely, and Mercury goes in and out of the sun's beams most frequently of all the planets but the moon. This unique frequency underlies the tricksterish nature of Mercury. Now you see him, now you don't. Now he zigs, and now he zags. Remember that at his heart, Mercury's purpose isn't to trick us, it is to mediate a reality that is so multi-layered that its meanings cannot be reduced to a single level. Everything on this earth can be viewed from multiple perspectives, and Mercury reminds us of the various vantage points and interpretive perspectives that we can and should explore to better understand existence without identifying too strongly with any one standpoint. Now, Mercury is entering the now you don't see him phase, suggesting that meanings and information become obscure, especially as relating to Leo matters such as leadership and power. Thanks for watching. I'm Nina Gryphon, and this is the Astrology and Magic channel.